Today, we're talking about the ambition tax, the hidden cost of leveling up that nobody prepares you for, and more importantly, whether you're actually willing to pay it. This conversation might make you question everything, but if you're serious about building something meaningful, you need to hear this. Hi friends, welcome to Off the Record, the mini pod companion series to our podcast on Record Off Script. I'm Yolanda, and the mini pod is where I share the messy, unfiltered truths behind growth and success. Before we go any further, please do me a huge favor. If this conversation resonates with you, if it sparks a new idea or just pushes you closer to your destiny, hit the like button and subscribe so that you're notified each and every time we drop content or post our powerful interviews with incredible guests. Now let's dive in. It's not April 15th, but I need to know if you filed your taxes this year. No, not taxes with the IRS, but the ambition tax. And I need to be real with you right from the start. This is not going to be one of those motivational speeches where I tell you that if you just work hard, everything will fall into place. The truth is, ambition will send you a bill. And most people don't find out what's on that bill until they're already too deep to turn back. Now, we talk a lot about the rewards of success, the freedom, the impact, the money, the recognition, but we don't talk nearly enough about what you have to give up to get there. And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff. Look, everyone knows you will have to work late nights. Everyone knows that you'll miss a few parties and events, and everyone expects the hustle. I'm talking about the invisible tax, the stuff that shows up on the statement that you didn't budget for, the friend who stops calling because you're always busy, the family members who make you feel guilty every time you prioritize your business over a family event, the partner who loved the old version of you that once was present, available, and predictable. Your mental space that ambition occupies 24/7, even when you're supposed to be relaxing. The guilt that follows you everywhere because you're choosing yourself or this dream over people's expectations can be cruel. This is the part of the journey that you don't post on Instagram. The breakdown before the breakthrough, the cost that no one calculated. So can we be real for a moment? Have you ever been sitting in a room full of people who you love and felt completely out of pocket? They look at your ambition and they see instability. You look at it and you see possibility. And maybe it is that moment when someone asks you, when are you going to stop chasing this dream and get a real job? Now, why would you say that? And you realize they genuinely don't believe in what you're building. And that realization, it breaks something in you. Or it's 3 a.m. and you're working on something that matters more than anything you've ever done. And everyone you know is asleep. They're comfortable, secure in their predictable lives. And you think, am I insane? I gotta be insane for this. Here's what nobody warns you about. The ambition tax compounds. It's not a one-time payment. Every new level costs more than the last. Every door that opens closes another one behind you. And the question you have to answer, honestly, ruthlessly, is this: is what I'm building worth what it's costing me? Because if the answer is no, you need to stop now. I mean, pump the brakes, pull over. But if the answer is yes, if you can look at the invoices and still say, I'd pay this again tomorrow, then you're not crazy and you're on the right track. In all honesty, you're just committed to something most people will never understand. If you're new here, ta-da! If you've been here before, you know what we're about to get into. So let's jump into 3 strategies that have helped me pay the ambition tax without losing my soul in the process. Strategy number 1. Draw your line in the sand and decide what's off the table. Here's where a lot of people destroy themselves. They think paying the ambition tax means sacrificing everything. It doesn't. It's about strategic sacrifice, not self-annihilation. Yes, something has to give, but you get to decide what stays, what's protected, what's sacred to you. and what you refuse to put on the negotiating table, no matter how big the opportunity. Most people won't do this. They let circumstances decide for them. They wake up one day and realize they've sacrificed their health, their marriage, their peace of mind, and they can't even remember making the choice. It just kind of happened. Don't let that be you. You need to define your non-negotiables before you're in crisis mode, because once you're desperate, tired, overwhelmed, you'll trade anything for relief. And that's how people lose themselves. So ask yourself right now, what will you absolutely not sacrifice for success? I'm listening. Is it your physical health, your mental well-being, your relationship with your kids, your integrity, your values, your spiritual groundedness? Write it down, make it concrete, because ambition is persuasive. It will convince you that just this once won't matter, that you can make an exception just this one time, that you'll get back to being you later. And that's how the erosion starts. Here's my promise to myself all the time. My physical health is non-negotiable. I've watched brilliant people build empires and destroy their bodies doing it. And I decided early on that I'm not doing that. So when I'm drowning in deadlines, I still protect my sleep, my workout, my nutrition. Not perfectly, but definitely intentionally. And you know what that's cost me? Opportunities, projects I couldn't take on, late night networking that I couldn't attend. It cost me relationships because people thought I wasn't serious because I wouldn't grind myself into dust. And the truth is, I've made peace with that because I've seen what happens when you trade your health for success. You end up with neither. Your non-negotiables are your foundation. Sacrifice them and this whole thing collapses. So draw your line in the sand. Know what you're going to protect. And when ambition asks you to cross that line, that's when you say no, even if it's hard, even when it's gonna cost you something. Strategy number 2, stop trying to make people understand. They won't. Now this one is brutal, but you need to hear it. Most people will never understand why you're doing what you're doing. Not because they're bad people, not because they don't love you, but because they're operating from a completely different value system. They value security. You might value potential. They value comfort. You might value growth. They see risk. You see an opportunity. And no amount of explaining will bridge the gap. So stop trying to justify your choices to people who will never get it. Stop seeking approval from people who think your ambition is actually reckless. Stop apologizing for wanting more, because here's what happens when you keep trying to make them understand. You start to actually doubt yourself. You start questioning whether they're right and you're delusional. You start shrinking your vision to fit their comfort zone. And that's the most expensive tax of all, giving up on your dream because people you love can't see it. Now, I used to exhaust myself trying to explain my vision to people who weren't wired to see it. And to be honest, I would get frustrated when they didn't get it. Then I realized their doubt isn't about me. It's about their own capacity to dream big. It's about their own trauma. It's about their own hurt. They're not wrong for choosing security, but I'm not wrong for choosing possibility. Once I stopped needing them to understand, everything shifted for me. I stopped defending my choices. I stopped seeking validation. I started trusting myself more than I trusted their fear. Ironically, some of them eventually came around, not because I convinced them, but because I stopped trying to. Your job isn't to make people understand your journey. Your job is to stay on the path. The people who are supposed to get it, they will. The ones who don't, let them go with love. Their confusion doesn't change your calling or your vision. Strategy number 3, reframe the tax. You're not losing, you're investing. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. What if the ambition tax isn't a loss? Every single thing you're giving up right now is making space for your destiny. You're creating room for the relationships that will actually fuel you. The comfort you're sacrificing, you're trading it for growth that will compound for the rest of your life. The approval you're not getting from people who don't understand, you're building your self-trust, which is worth more than 1,000 external validations. And that easy path that you're rejecting, you're actually just claiming the life most people are too afraid to even attempt. Every payment you make is a deposit into your future self. And here's the part that most people don't realize until they're on the other side. The tax eventually becomes a return on your investment. The sacrifices you're making today, they turn into assets tomorrow. The loneliness becomes discernment. You learn who's really in your corner and who you need to let go. The struggle becomes your story, the thing that makes you relatable and credible. The discipline becomes freedom because you've built something that can't be taken away from you. It's a messy truth. We all have to let a version of ourselves die to become the version that we want to be. That version of you couldn't have built the life that you're trying to get to or the life you're living now. That person was too concerned about being liked, too afraid to disappoint people. The ambition tax you paid, it was the price of becoming who you needed to be. So when you're looking at your invoice, when you're adding up everything this dream is costing you, I want you to ask a different question. Not what am I losing, but what am I becoming? Because if you're becoming someone who can handle bigger opportunities, navigate harder challenges, and create the life you've always imagined, that's not a cost, baby. That's investment with a lifetime return. So here's the takeaway. The ambition tax is real. It's steep, and you will have to pay it every year just like you pay the IRS. Every level you reach will cost you something the previous level didn't require. Every breakthrough will demand a sacrifice you didn't see coming. But here's what I need you to understand. Not everyone is supposed to pay it, and that's okay. They're meant to do the thing that's safe. There is nothing wrong with that life. But if you're listening to this podcast, that's probably not you. To be honest, that's probably not you. You're the person who might not be able to turn that dream off, who has a vision that won't leave you alone, and who would rather risk failure than guaranteed mediocrity. Now, if this is you, the ambition tax isn't a burden. It's the price of admission. So pay it strategically, intentionally, without apology. Is it worth it? I don't know. Only you can answer that. But if you've made it this far, you probably already know the answer. Now, if this episode added value, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss what's coming. Drop a comment below and let me know what resonated with you. Until next time, this is Yolanda reminding you that our most honest moments happen when we actually go off the record. Bye.
Coming up January 2nd.
The story behind Henry Glover, Katrina.
Katrina made landfall. Then the levees broke. There's no food, there's no lights, there's no water, there's no way we're gonna get help. There was a police officer, so this was like a shopping center. And then he hears a pow. Henry's been shot. So they put him in the back of the car. They're pulled out of the car.
Why leave his body in the car? Why burn the car?
It had become a kind of us versus them.
This was a cover-up from the start.
The Good Samaritan had to continue to pay for his car.
That a police officer took from him with the shot man in the back, burned it, and he was still paying payments.
He was still paying it.
And now you got to investigate the police. What was that like?
That was tough.
Do you think there was a racial context to this
Definitely.
case?
New Orleans is the only city. You have 2 police officers who were on death row.